Kat Chancellor with Stamp Art Connection. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And today I'm going to do a couple cards made from this bundle called Hold On to Hope. This is a stamp and framelits bundle. It has some really nice stamps, lots of texture, and some really cool framelits, especially this very, very intricate filigree cross, as well as an outline cross, and then some other smaller crosses. In fact, I love this little one right here, because this not only cuts out the inside, but it also gives you an outside cross as well. So you get two with this framelit. So that's really, I think, a really bonus. Now, the card that I'm going to make are going to be an Easter card and a sympathy card, both using the filigree cross, as well as some different backgrounds. The background here is going to be Brusho crystal color on watercolor paper, and all my directions and sizes are going to be on my blog, which is going to be in the bottom there on my message. Now, I'm using all the standard sizes for a 5.5 by 4.25 card. And this really neat proportional matting guide is also free for you to download from my blog at stampartconnection.com. Just go where it says free stuff, open it up, and then right click and save it. And when you save it on either your computer or on your mobile device, you can then print however you want to print it. Here I printed it on just a piece of paper, and here I printed it on a piece of photo paper, and it's kind of got a nice weight of paper. So this is a very handy guide, and this is what I'm always using when I'm talking about my sizes. So having said all that, the stock that we're going to be using are a Whisper White base card, as well as a Whisper White layer in 5 3¼ and then some gold foil. We're going to use gold foil for this card, and then we're going to cut our back of our cross with white glimmer paper. So this cross is basically going to be using both of these framelits right here. So I've cut this cross with white glimmer paper, and then I've cut these crosses with vellum, and then the foil that I used for both of these two filigree crosses is actually the champagne foil paper, and it really has a nice kind of pinky color that goes really well with our Calypso coral background and our color scheme here. So these are two of the key pieces you're going to use, as well as you can stamp any sentiment that you want in the front of your card. This is what I've chosen that came with the stamp set, but I have an old retired stamp set over here that has Happy Easter and a nice He is not here, He is risen, that I would also may use. So there's other sentiments that you can find in the either in the catalog, or if you happen to have an Easter sentiment. This from the Flourishing Phrases is what I'm going to use for my With Sympathy, and I'm going to use some embossing. I'm using white embossing powder to reverse emboss the front of my watercolor paper. So here is my watercolor paper. And I'm also going to be using some embossing folders. This is the, let's see, this is the, what is it? The Seaside Texture folder is what I use to emboss this piece, and then I think I'm going to use this folder here, which is the Layered Leaves Dynamic folder for our card. So you're going to need a big shot. You're going to need some vellum, some foil, some watercolor paper, and then I'm using Calypso Coral because I think that really blends nicely with the colors. So let's get started. What's really kind of neat about this stamp right here that I'm going to show you first is that you can take this image, and how I want you to emboss it is, and I'm just going to show you, we're going to go this way, and it kind of fits, kind of a yin yang. So you kind of see how you can kind of go opposite, and you can just kind of fit this like this on your figure. Okay, so that is the pattern that I'm going to use to emboss on the watercolor paper. So I just wanted to kind of show you how you want to set up that pattern. Okay, so then let's put this aside, bring over my my watercolor paper, and open my Versamark. I got a silly little pug that's getting bored down here. Okay, so we're going to you kind of see this C mark. We're going to do this here. Ink this up, and we're going to kind of match that right there. And we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to put this one here. I'm going to turn it around. We're going to put that one there. So that's kind of a nice, we've kind of like lined those up like yin yang. They fit nicely inside of each other. So I'm going to grab one of these little sheets here, and I'm going to take my white embossing powder and put that all over my card. Okay, so that's nicely embossed. You can kind of see the embossing on it right there. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take out our Brusho Crystal colors. I'm using both a aqua painter and a mister. And I'm going to start out with the red right smack in the middle here. And then I'm going to take the yellow, and I'm going to put the yellow all the way around the edge. Now I'm also going to have a paper towel at the ready, so to speak, because what really makes this nice kind of a Calypso Coral color is when I blot the red. So let's go ahead and spray. There's our background. Okay, so let's let this dry. So here's this one, okay? I've already done it, same pattern. And we're going to go ahead and put this this card together. Now, to put this card together, you're going to need a piece of Calypso coral, and this is going to be the matting piece at 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, and we're going to need a piece of the base card is going to be in Whisper White. Okay, so that's how we're going to put that together. Now the what goes on top and what you should have already cut out, and I've already cut out simply just to for ease of the video, is a filigree cross out of champagne foil and a plain cross cut out of the cross framelit using vellum. Now the secret to putting this card together, and I see a couple little spots here that I need to poke out. The secret to putting together this card is using this multi-purpose adhesive sheet. As you can see here, this is my champagne rather foil. On the back, I have laid out this whole piece right here is a piece of the adhesive sheet. And here I've put a piece, and I have another piece over here. So basically you could take your entire half of a piece of foil and put your adhesive sheet over the whole thing instead of piecemealing it like I did, and cut out your filigree cross. The reason why is it's going to make it so much easier to adhere this to any surface that you want, instead of getting into trying to use your fine tip glue pen or your multi-purpose glue. Just very, very, very easy. Okay, so having said that, what we're going to do is let's go ahead and put this on our card. Okay, so I have put this on my card, matting right there. I'm now going to take my cross, and I'm going to peel off my adhesive backing, and this is going to fit very nicely right here. I'm going to kind of line it up at the top. And look how nice that perfect. Okay, so this is going to go pushed up on some dimensionals, but as you can see from our sample, what I have here is a piece of ribbon, and this was actually cased from the catalog. So the ribbon that I'm using is going to be the organza ribbon, and I'm going to take a piece of organza, and I'm going to just kind of zoom in here a little bit so you can see this. And we're going to wrap it around our cross. I'm just going to snip. Let's see, I'm just going to snip that there. And I'm going to use a piece of the mini dimensional. I'm going to fold this in half, and I'm going to kind of crease it with my finger. I'm going to grab a mini dimensional, and I'm going to put my mini dimensional right here in the middle of my cross. Now I kind of crease that with my finger, so I kind of see that crease mark right there. See that? That's what I'm going to put right on my mini dimensional, and then I'm going to fold like that. Okay, then I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to put 2 more little glue dots, rather. They're not mini dimensionals, 2 little glue dots right there. And I'm going to turn this around and we're just going to put that there. And we're going to put that there. And if you cut, you know, however you want to cut your ribbon, that's kind of how I cut it. But if you fold it in half, it will be even. So this is still a little sticky because you have a glue dot there. And what I'm going to use for the middle of that is one of these, I think these are metallic dots, and I'm just going to put that right there. Okay, so there, isn't that pretty? That's your cross. So this is going to go, we're going to put this up on dimensionals right there, and then I have already I've already cut out the God is love sentiment, and I embossed this using, let me see if I can find it, using Calypso Coral embossing powder, and that's how I embossed that. Let me kind of go back a little bit. So now let's go ahead and put our card together. And there you go. Isn't that pretty? Now for the inside, what I want to stamp is I want to use the He is Risen. And I'm going to use Memento Black, and I'm just going to stamp that inside my card. Okay, so that takes care of our Easter card, and you can see that this one that we made just a few minutes earlier is already dry, and I can already put together that card. But now for this card, as I said, you are going to need a piece of Whisper White. You're going to need a piece of gold foil, and I've cut this at 5 1/4 by 4, and then another piece of Whisper White, which we are going to, I'm going to emboss, and the embossing folder I used is this one here, the Layered Leaves Dynamic folder. That's the piece that we're going to put on here, and this piece is at 5 3 1/4. So this is going to be the basis for our sympathy card. I have also already embossed and cut out using our stitched framelits, the With Sympathy, and we're going to go ahead and put this together. The base for our card is white glimmer paper, and I use gold foil to cut out the filigree cross, and this is going to go on top of that. Again, I use the adhesive backing for the back of this card, so we're just going to peel this off. comes off really nicely. And that's trash. Nice and sticky. I have a little itty bitty little piece that's stuck right there, which I'm going to poke out. Okay, and again, I'm simply just going to line this up with the top of my cross like that. And boom, even with the glimmer paper and using these adhesive multi-purpose sheets, perfect. It fits nicely, no messy glue, and we're ready to put this on our card. The other piece that we need for this card is I'm using a piece of this metallic edged ribbon to add, as you can see from our sample here, which is going to be just a really nice accent. So let's go ahead and add that. There we go. There's our base. And then we're going to put our cross, and then we can have our with sympathy right there. Okay, isn't that pretty? Now, one of the things that, like I said, those itty bitty little pieces, I'm going to take this little piece right here that came out of that little framelit, because it is gold. I am going to use this inside my card. And the other option that you have is that you can use this on the outside of your cross. Because you use the adhesive backing, it will go really nicely right there. So let's go ahead and get my dimensionals and put this piece on. Now I'm going to take this Flourishing Phrases. I'm going to take the Comfort and Healing to You sentiment. I'm going to I'm going to take my Memento ink. Just test that. Yeah. And then we're going to take this itty bitty little cross . And I'm going to put this itty bitty little cross right there. Comfort and healing to you. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. So now we have both our cards. The last thing that I want to do is we're going to take the envelope that we're going to send this card in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our embossing folder and I'm going to emboss this flap here. Okay, so I have embossed the back of this envelope, and this is what I'm going to send my sympathy card in. Isn't that just beautiful? Matches the front. And for this card here, I have taken some of the DSP from the Occasions catalog. I believe this is the Coke one. It'll be in my comments, because that is Calypso Coral, and that matches beautifully with that. So there you go. Some beautiful cards that you can make with the Hold On to Hope stamp set, and not only an Easter card, beautiful Easter card, but a very, very nice and tasteful sympathy card. So this is Kat Chancellor with Stamp Art Connection. Please go to my blog, stampartconnection.com, for all the details for how to make this card. Also, take a look at some of the free products that I offer. If you sign up for my newsletter, you'll get a free PDF. There is the free offer that you can just download my proportional matting card that comes in really handy, and all kinds of news and ideas. Kat Chancellor, happy stamping.